bad. But here we go.
Chess won't be a secret to everybody for long, though, Uncle. Nope, we were all wrong.
We just get a little snack at Link's house because we got Pizza Hut.
Really? We're less than 30 seconds into the race and you're already going there?
I'll be going there all race. So, of course, we have the standard route to our uncle. So we will be pulling up a bush and just jumping down a hole, a la Alice.
Linky, go down the hole.
And we got your Berna.
There we go. I am 1 for 1, so I'm going to be back in 20 minutes and we want to buy a lottery ticket.
Okay, so Berna will make it a little bit interesting, and there's our bomb. So normally you'll see runners try to farm a bomb so they can actually open up the back of escape. Well, they don't have to worry about that now. But Berna is interesting because you do have to be very precise when you activate and how close you are to the enemy, so you aren't running out of magic before you actually get through all of escape. There are a set number of enemies that you absolutely have to take out. You'll probably also see them use pots to kill the ball and chain knight at the bottom, but we'll get to that in a little bit here.
Yeah, right now we're just making our way through escape. Just making our way down to the basement, no big deal. Got to go save the princess. Bit early to be saving the princess on a Zelda game, don't you think?
Well, I mean, Ganon doesn't do as well hiding her in this as he does in Z1. I don't know what it is. I guess because chronologically Z1 comes after Z3, maybe he's learned from his mistakes and says, well, why don't I make them beat me first?
Well, hold on. Did you just bring up timeline theory?
Well, why wouldn't I?
Which timeline are we talking about? Because
this is totally the Fallen Hero timeline.
Okay, the only correct answer.
So Fred actually got a good full magic drop, and we do get a bottle here in Escape as well, which is really nice because they get to route their sick kid into the rest of Kakariko instead of having to revisit him later.
Yeah, it's always fun when the sick kid has something you need to progress and you have to wait for a long time to go back. I remember one of the races I was calling, I think it was a Fred race where the last possible spot on the overworld that could have had a bottle, which was the land molas in desert, and hey, we got the glove there in the chest in Zelda's jail cell. The last possible option was the land molas dropping a bottle, which led to Moon Pearl.
Yeah, that's... Do you expect us to see something like that tonight?
Well, no, because we already have a bottle.
Well, I just meant something trolly like that, because there's a lot of different situations in which that could happen.
Well, true. Statistically speaking, Ice Rod's going to be your trolliest item. I mean, just simply because, of course, it's only required for one dungeon, and it can pretty much be anywhere. And to me, though, the most appropriate thing, this is a Game 3, what everybody wants to see, and what would add the most appropriate drama for Game 3 would, of course, be a pedestal.
Well, Aga and pedestal, but yes.
Aga required for Dark World access, or Aga required for an item because it's in Lumberjacks?
Yes.
How'd I know you were going to go there?
Okay, so now that we have the girl in tow, we are going to head to the back part of Escape. Typically, you would need a lamp to light up this area, but, well, lamp's not always guaranteed in these randomizer seeds, so you get a free light. I guess Zelda's carrying a lamp or something?
No, she has a flashlight.
There is one really horrible enemy in the back of Escape. Luckily, with Berna, it's not as bad. For Fred, it's definitely not going to be bad at all because he has a full-fledged... Well, there's a Moon Pearl. So, anyway, yeah. So, Fred has a full thing of magic, so the little rat that he has to kill for his last key won't be an issue, and Xyrak has enough magic that won't be an issue for him as well.
Yes, so that extra magic container that Fred got paying dividends here. He can be free to be a little willy-nilly here with his Cane of Burning magic. And the last two things we're going to get, we have a nice spicy barbacoa burrito, a big 20, and of course it's a Fred race, so why wouldn't we have an early tunic?
Absolutely. So, a little bit of nice defense. 2/3 of our way towards Dark World access, and we don't have any stabby pointy devices, which is pretty much normal. Well, we have a lot of opportunity to get one here shortly, but we're hoping we don't.
Don't get what? A stabby pointy device?
Yes.
Where we're hoping they don't. They want one.
Yeah. What I would actually really like to see is Cape and Bugnet.
Yes, please.
So both of our runners making their way over. Fred taking, or both Fred and Xyrak both taking the south entrance into the woods. So neither are going to check out Lumberjack Cave right now. Typically, you'll see runners either choose to go there or they will wait until they have boots to check because really there's nothing there. And well, hello, half magic.
That's a fantastic thing to find, especially when your main source of damage is the Cane of Burna.
So we got 50 rupees in the Thieves hideout, and well, here we head to Kakariko to open, well, not open chest, we're going to pillage the entire town.
Remember, pillage first, then burn.
We don't have the fire rod yet, there's no burning.
So we're good.
So we get 50 rupees. Another Pizza Heart. Well, there's your boomerang. And there's the other one.
Oh! This isn't even a fun Thieves Hut anymore. Wow.
And hello.
Hi there.
So that Dark World access that we were thinking Aga might be required for. RIP. Now, if we get Mir down here in the well...
I'm just turning around and going to buy my lottery ticket. Convenient. Fred used his last bomb and picks up a 3-pack.
And we are starting to get a lot of rupees here, which will be nice if they need to maybe route in a sword check in a little bit. But neither runner's really concerned about that right now because they might have a lot more open to them than fake flippering.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it is a little interesting for us if they get the... Well, remember that elusive ice rod I was talking about? Of course, we now know this means Turtle Rock is going to be a pen.
And we did just get our map check of the Light World, and we see a green pendant Hera, and then 2 crystals in Desert and Eastern.
Unfortunately, neither the Eastern or Desert crystals were 5 or 6.
Hey, hammer.
So yeah, this, well, we got pretty much everything we need at this point. Do you just, at this point, you have what you need? Do you go check Thieves Town, like, right now?
Well, let's quick a little bit first, but I I finish out Kakariko here, and then I do make a play to head towards Thieves Town, just at least to get the first 4 chests. If Thieves Town is a pendant or something, but it doesn't hurt, and then they can up A after that and head and do the dam and whatever else they need to do.
So you're not going over here and using the newly found powder and hammer to go visit our friend the Mad Batter.
Yeah, actually not a bad option here. They're going to have both the Mad Batter and Hammer Pegs easily accessible very, very early on in the seed while they're still hanging out in the Kakariko Village of Outcasts area.
I'm getting a whole lot of love there from the Mad Batter.
Yeah, apparently his vampire skills are coming in handy, and he just took the heart of one of his victims.
Thank you very much.
And Xyrak is going ahead and making the play to head towards Dark World, so we will get to see, possibly very early on, what all of our crystals and pendants are in this seed. 11 minutes in, that's always really good to have that knowledge.
Absolutely, and Cane of Burn is one of my favorite ways of taking out blind, just because, it's still going to do the damage because of the mechanics of the blind fight, and you can't get hurt. And here we go. No, Turtle Rock is going to be required. Swamp and Mire are going to be our pendants. 5 and 6 looking at Ice Palace and Skull Woods.
Which is actually really good news for our runners, because if they make this early play to Thieves Town, I mean, they have everything they need to complete it. Fred up and Aang, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and do the dam and probably check out Mini Moldorm Cave first before heading to the Dark World. We have Xyrak up here in Skull Woods right now doing the initial check. A lot of runners will choose to do this, and he gets a early big key. Always good that you don't have to backtrack into this first part once getting the big key.
Yeah, I do find this called the early dive into Skullwoods interesting, only because you can't finish it here, whereas if you went into Thieves Town right now, you had the capability of finishing it. I'm not saying it's a bad call, I just find it interesting.
Right, and sometimes Skullwoods will hold a really, really good item early on, so it doesn't actually hurt to check out the first few chests. He's not going to be able to get into the back half, so having a sword right now doesn't really matter. So, taking a check to see if there is maybe a good item is not a bad play at all. Nothing in the dam, though.
Oh, there was some gold under the water.
Someone was just trying to take the dam out.
All kinds of keys over in Skull Woods. Nothing to show for it aside from that. And it looks like we're getting Fred with some bomb strats over here on the baby Landmos.
Yeah, with half magic, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to use Burning here, but he had enough bombs that it wasn't too much of an issue. Actually left for the ice rod, but Mini
Moldorm being all kinds of dodgy.
Yeah, impersonating its bigger brethren very, very well. Some rupees, arrow upgrade, pizza heart, full heart, and a bomb upgrade. So, yes, Mini Moldorm Cave was not worth that effort. So it looks like Fred is coming back to Sanctuary, and he will make his play into the Dark World. We'll see if he makes the play up here into Skullwoods just like Xyrak did, or if he opts to go right into Thieves Town. Xyrak taking the intentional Death Warp to refill his hearts, and then he will make his way back down into the Village of Outcasts as well.
See, that's one of the things about early on in the game, especially without Mirror, that always, gets me like, oh, someone's died! Oh, wait, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, rooms like that, chest room, in the second part of Skull Woods is a very common Death Warp spot because it's just way more convenient. Fred checking his map as well, sees that he doesn't need, well, quote-unquote, need Mire or Swamp, which means he'll need Swire Mire or Swamp.
Spire? I like that. Spire. Slay the Spire?
Yeah, I just felt like combining the two dungeons together.
I'm pretty
Wait,
sure.
never mind. I don't want to give them any ideas.
I'm pretty sure nobody wants a portmanteau of Swamp Palace and Misery Mire.
So we're going to do a little gambling game on Xyrak's side, and we get a Pizza Heart.
That's some expensive Pizza Heart. I mean, it's least expensive than having Zora have a Pizza Heart, but then again, that's just getting exotic pizza, so.
And in our bombable hut, we get some more love. So they may be outcasts, but they have heart.
Outcasts, they can love each other.
Hey, yeah.
Yo ho, yo ho.
And there we have our pointy stabby object in the sea hut.
I wouldn't call that pointy or stabby.
We have our plastic kid's toy.
There we go.
First item in Thieves Town is a 3-pack of bombs.
The obligatory big key.
Yeah, 2 more chests to check in this front half, but especially with the sword in hand, I expect Xyrak to go through the entire dungeon. No reason not to. You can full clear it, so might as well do the full search instead of, returning at a later date.
And am I the one who feels bad for that wall master that Fred just took out? I mean, have you ever took a hammer to your own hand? That hurts.
Fred taking his death wart, and Xyrak will hopefully find a good item out of the last 2 in this back half of Thieves Town, because front half had butt kiss.
Is that a scientific term?
Yes, I believe it is. It was established at the Hyrule Center for Wizardry. Ganon used to teach there.
Ah, okay. So we're hitting the Wayback Machine a little bit then. Because if I recall correctly, the Hyrule School of Wizardry was burnt down in the Great Armos Uprising.
We are not going back there. So, Fred just made his trip to Toys R Us, got his plastic sword. It's a pretty good thing that he did, too, because they went out of business.
Too soon. Too soon.
So we made our haul and got another big 20 in Thieves Town. So still nothing great here because, of course there wouldn't be when we can dive it early and hopefully get something great before 20 minutes.
Sorry, I'm a little quiet. I'm still stinging at the Toys R Us blast.
And Fred now entering Thieves Town as well, so he gets more of his explosive devices. And Xyrak is making his way to rescue some thing.
That's a good way of putting it, I guess.
And of course, he does get the key there, so that obliges him to go over and actually do this big chest. And there's our item.
And what a lovely item it is, too.
Now, TG,
Yes,
isn't it kind of appropriate that the flute would be in the Dark World spot of where you activate it?
True. That's, very apropos. And of course, one of my favorite parts of this is the blind pun. And unfortunately, I've seen that one, so meh.
You haven't seen all of them at this point?
I probably have. My favorite one, though, was still Misery Meyer is Ether, Quake, or Bombos. Just because if you read it quickly, you think it says Ether, Quake, or Bombos, and you get there and it's the Ether Medallion, and you're like, what the heck?
So at 20 minutes, Xyrak gets our first crystal of the match.
Fred getting all Fred-like with the bombs over there.
And Xyrak is going to head down and do our little digging game. Or our really, really long digging game. Depends on what the seed feels like doing.
Can you dig it? Or really, really short. You got that right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Not much doing there. So we'll see where Xyrak is heading now. Looks like he's going to go back and possibly pick up the frog and go do hammer pegs quick.
I mean, that's what I do. Pick up the frog, grab hammer pegs, find your way back to the light world, which in this case means hitting the reset-o-matic, and go and activate everybody's favorite animal.
Yeah, we'll be standing for our salute here in a little bit. Fred is going back to capture his human incarnate blind.
Human incarnate. That's a new way of putting it.
And just a big 20 underneath the hammer pegs because we don't have boots, so we're going to waste all that time for nothing.
Well, of course. Wait, are we getting what I think we're getting right here? Are we potentially getting a Froggy World Tour?
It looks like it. And apparently the frog is just going to bring riches.
Hey, if carrying a frog got me a bunch of $20 bills for everyone I talk to, I would carry a frog everywhere.
If you walked around with a frog talking to random people, I don't think they would be giving you money. I think they would be giving you restraining orders.
Well, you just know how to suck the fun out of every situation, don't you?
Pretty much. So, we're going to get a hype cave check. Is it going to be hype?
It's probably on a croak.
Some bombs.
Oh, okay,
that's
never mind.
Some Maria. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
not croaking.
That's not croaking. No warts there. Although I will say, speaking of Froggy World Tours, the best one I've ever seen, I forget the match, but they took the frog with them through the first part of Skullwoods. It was fantastic.
So Fred's going to make a quick pit stop. He done.
Not done.
No, they click a button now.
I pushed the button! Don't push the button?
No. Unfortunately, we do not hear our anthem on Xyrak's side, but fear not, because we will hear it a little bit on Fred's side. He will just go ahead and visit everyone with his toad. And we are returning the bread maker to his brother.
Well, I mean, he was just loafing around.
For a narrow upgrade. So, Fred, up and A. We're back on Zelda 1. Fred saving quitting without, or never mind, he does have the frog, that's right. Do not mind me. I am aware of what is happening in this race. Xyrak is now going to go ahead and check his library and his race game as well. And, of course, library not needed today. And all rise, remove your caps. And we are getting a mire shed check on Xyrak's side.
Well, I mean, mire shed's always a good place to check because, you know, when you don't check it, that's when it has the thing you need. So, of course, we're checking it earlier, which means it's not going to have anything. Okay, 300 rupees, not a huge big deal there. And, oh, look, it's a bee in a bottle. So Fred going ahead and picking up his forged arrows, as Xyrak going to go ahead and make his way over to the dam. We're going to get the, of course, the bomb upgrade here by draining it. But first, we're going to go ahead and get yet another 20 rupee stash.
Yeah, and actually, this is going to benefit Xyrak a little more than what it did Fred, because Xyrak can actually, he was able to actually flute here instead of taking the walk down to this area. He may also choose to check Ice Rod Cave, which Fred did not do earlier.
True, but we do need the explosive coin here to get into Misery Mire. It is Bomb Boast, but of course it's a pendant, so we'll have to be back here shortly.
So Fred saving quitting, and since he already did what Xyrak's now doing, we'll see what he elects to do. Not much in the way of Death Mountain that they can do, so I don't expect to see him go that way.
I would expect Fred to...
He's making his Ice Rod Cave check.
That was not what I was going to say.
Actually, not a horrible decision here to do this, because he can immediately flute to wherever he chooses to go to next, which will probably be Eastern and Palace of Darkness area. Now, I would assume that he'll do Eastern first, just because he can also get 3 items out of Shenandoah.
Shenandoah. Okay, so we're quoting old school country bands now.
Or Pennsylvania cities.
Yeah, I just assume if it's a Pennsylvania city, I can't pronounce it.
Oh, Fred is going to fake flipper, so we are going to get, or maybe not. What are you doing, Fred?
Fake flippering.
Okay.
Just messing with you a little bit.
So we will actually get a capture of 4 items and a check of 5. Fred going to go ahead and head up to the hobo under the bridge here first. And we'll see if Xyrak makes the same fake flipper play, and he will. So both of our runners really close together right now, pretty much doing the same thing. So much for that route divergence.
The only difference right now is Xyrak went to Hype Cave.
Fred a little low on bombs, so he will not give the hobo a parting gift. Yes, JSR, the Kane was in Hype Cave, as well as the Master Sword.
All right, let's take a look and see what we're going to find on the floating island here, but the island here in the middle of Lake Hylia, just some love. Nothing we need to do is too crazy. And this whirlpool is, to me, the hardest thing to get into in this entire game. It's not, anything else. It's just trying to properly swim into that whirlpool.
It's not so much just trying to get into the whirlpool, it's trying to do it to where you position yourself to come out with left momentum, because if you start heading right, that little Zora likes to snipe you, and while Waterfall is just hiding some money, we got 21 rupees.
Everybody's favorite rupee, that single green one, but now we're turning on our religious overtones mode as we're walking on water.
And, well, we're not going to have to return here. Only a Pizza Heart on the ledge there in the domain. So we're just going to take a trip and probably get ripped off spending 500 rupees for nothing.
Xyrak going to go ahead and throw an empty bottle into there to get some potion. And let's see what we get for our 500 rupee investment. Hey, it's a Tickle Beam!
Hey, maybe it wasn't so useless. So, not only does that pay off for Fred, but that also gives him a lot more to check on Death Mountain. We can check Hera now as well. Now remember, Hera is just a green pendant, and we can't fully complete it because we still don't have our fire source, but it's still progress, and Fred is going to go ahead and do it. We're going to see a little sequence break here with our old man get, but hey, we just fake flippered, so why not sequence break some more?
Yeah, so Xyrak going to go ahead and pick up his hook shot over there on the right-hand side of your screen. And for those of you watching on the left, no, we do not have a power outage. Just follow the sparkly beams and you'll be all set.
He's out of there before you know it. So I expect we are going to see the same thing from Xyrak here. He's going to exit and play his little melody to head up towards Death Mountain. That is not a hint from Z1. I have never seen that. So Fred only gets bombs from the old man. That is appropriate.
Well, yeah, one old man giving the other one bombs? Absolutely. Although, speaking of Z1 things, it's been asked in the chat if, because I'm here, if Ganon's going to be replaced with a banana again.
No, I actually haven't dabbled in Link to the Past sprite editing yet, so no, I'm sorry.
There you go.
A lot of love up at Spectacle Rock. Neither runner gonna bother with that love, though. Fred gonna take a leap of faith here. And almost gets knocked back by the dead rock, but manages to escape. And he is going to go ahead and check out East Death Mountain.
Now, from what I've been hearing, somewhere up on East Death Mountain is the final remaining Toys R Us that's still open.
Yeah, the problem is that you have to take back roads to get to it, and no one's going to do that, so we're probably not going to see it at all.
What's wrong with back roads?
Nothing, but they didn't bring the map, and Zelda's not there to tell them where to go.
Zelda has the compass anyway.
So we get a little bit of ether up in Paradox Cave, as well as some bombs, and a little bit of money.
Only a little bit of money?
Yeah, just a little bit of money. Spending cash.
Hey, pocket change is still pocket change.
Yeah, hey, any money they get now is free money because they've already spent all their required rupees for the seed, except
no, they haven't.
for Kiki.
Exactly, except for the crooked monkey.
Bombs on the floating island, and we are not going to see Fred spin around in the spiral. He'll probably elect to do that after Hera take the spiral down, go ahead into Dark Death Mountain, and then do that as well.
You do know what's going to happen, though, right? As we're going here into Hera, it's going to be a required basement.
Yeah, and then Dark Death Mountain is going to have the fire rod or the lamp. Oh, no, it won't. Unless you're supposed to... well, you can still find flippers elsewhere. It would just be a long-lost progression.
I think the fun thing about this randomizer from one of those times is where you go around and you do one thing that's a sequence break that unlocks everything else. So technically, everything you're doing is a sequence break until you find the one thing that you skipped initially. And it's one of those things where you start talking about it and then you lose your mind. You just start losing your head. You can't wrap your head around it. You're just like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah, never mind. Hookshot wasn't logic. Hookshot was at Zora. It wasn't in the waterfall, so we're good. Because they have mitts.
Exactly. So far, nothing has been sequence broken. Except the old man.
The bombs. Not the upgrade, Fred.
Well, okay, the Hera basement not required here. So we know we're either getting compass or map from everybody's favorite giant snake creature. Although I will say, watching the Moldorm fight with Hammer is one of my favorite things, because it just reminds me of trying to squish an ant with your foot and missing horribly. But no missing here on Fred's side. It's going to go ahead and pick up the map here and going to go get the green pendant, which is going to unlock another item down at the Shamalamadodo over by Eastern Palace.
And actually, that's going to work in a runner's favors because they haven't even checked it yet. So it's just another thing they can route in together. So really fortunate that they got the hookshot that allows them to do that. Xyrak using the sword instead. Well, a mix of sword and hammer, apparently. And now we get our spiral cave, long walk, journey. You know, Link decides that he's going to go on a life quest and maybe see a sage and learn about the ways of life and inner peace.
Funny, that usually happens when I drink peyote.
But more so than just walking through there for an item, we walk back down towards Dark Death Mountain.
Yep, absolutely.
So we're going to get our 2 chests out of Super Bunny Cave here, and then the 4 chests out of Hookshot Cave, and then make one last little peek over at T-Rock just to see what medallion we may need.
Probably Bombos.
Yeah, the seed hasn't really given us anything too bad yet, so...
Oh,
well, there's
there
Mir.
we go. Mir is always fun. So, of course, we have all the tools to do Swamp Palace.
Oh, absolutely. And yes, Spike Cave might also be checked here because they do have half magic, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. And, well, it appears, well, Xyrak is actually going to go ahead and
I was a little confused.
do T-Rock this way. Not a bad choice, because if he does have the medallion, which, of course, we do know that he does because it is Ether. Silver's in Hookshot Cave, but he can just open it up here, so it's going to be a lot easier for him to make his way in a little bit.
Yeah, Fred also picking up the Fisher-Price shield as well.
So, I guess Fred did take the back roads to the Toys R Us shop in Death Mountain.
And you question the back roads.
Apparently, Fred and Xyrak know the back roads a lot better than I thought they did.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, and, speaking of back roads, though, after this, we're going to go ahead and I believe we're going to go visit Skowhegan. Hey, if you can use cities in the state you're from, I can use cities in the state I'm from.
Hey, we found some drugs behind the spikes.
You know, that's a very good place to hide your drugs. Because it takes some true dedication if you want to get those ones. Ooh, Xyrak, unfortunately, getting himself in a little bit of a pickle. They're going to have to go back to Super Bunny Cave. And that's the chest with the mirror.
Yeah, not absolutely horrible, because it's not like he had to exit and re-enter the entire cave, just the floor. But yeah, quite the chest to block there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what... Oh, we get some red potion in there. So wait, that's it's not quite vanilla, but it's vanilla enough because the witches sell potion.
But isn't red strawberry?
Well, as long as it's not cherry, then we're good. Oh, and wow, Xyrak making a dive into the beginning parts of T-Rock here.
Really, just going to be able to check a few chests here, depending on what this first chest contains. Now, if it contains Fire Rod, all bets are off, but it's just 300 rupees, so yeah, nothing doing in T-Rock early on. So it looks like Fred is going to go ahead and pick up our friend the purple chest and take that on a little bit of a tour, and probably go down, check Cave 45 and a few other things.
Yeah, so I need to correct myself from earlier. I said that I was calling a race where the frog went to Skullwoods. It wasn't the frog, it was the blue lunchbox. And it was much more hilarious than the lunchbox. So I need to correct myself. I apologize. It wasn't a Froggy World Tour. It was a box lunch.
Well, Link was going to work. He took his lunch with him.
Exactly.
Xyrak making his little trip for his mushroom, while Fred goes ahead and gets the boots out of Cave 45.
Always good to see booties, and that's going to mean that, you know, I mean, right now we still we really still can't do any of the other places that have crystals, because we're still missing items to do them.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 4 chests in Shinny's hut. And I believe there's a few other places that we can check. Fred is probably going to check out Hype Cave here as well, which will give him Samaria and a sword upgrade, which will be nice for him. But maybe making the dive into Eastern or perhaps even Desert because of having boots now wouldn't be a bad play.
No, it definitely wouldn't be a bad play. The thing with Desert, though, is it's still not completely open because no fire source. But it looks like Xyrak's heading over there anyway.
Yeah, Fred is definitely going to check out Hype Cave first.
Oh, absolutely.
And the thing is that even if Desert isn't fully completable, it's easy to come back to and just finish the back half of it. And you're only missing 1 item at that point, so you can still get a lot of knowledge by doing it. And look, the ledge has something that makes Xyrak a golden knight. He's from Vegas.
I was going to say, is he from Vegas? Well, if he's from Vegas, then wouldn't you hope that Fred capitalizes on that?
Only if Xyrak makes really bad gambles.
So far, no bad gambles happening here. Also, Xyrak getting lucky, boots not required to progress further.
No, but it will be slower. And yay, we get to do the desert dance, going back and forth.
I mean, there's one big. The one advantage that Xyrak has doing this desert dance is he's not going to get sand in his boots.
No, but he might get a snake.
True, but did you just go full Toy Story on me?
Absolutely.
Ah.
And we just got 300 rupees out of the Bonk Cave, so nothing really great there. Fred gonna go ahead and check out to see if we have an AGA required seed. So cross your fingers, folks.
I'm crossing the fingers. Oh, there. Wow, Desert had its own progression. Lamp in Desert.
And no, AGA Dream is now DED dead.
Yeah, it looks like Fred gonna go ahead and make the same gamble over here. So right now, Xyrak has the advantage of entering into Desert first, but with the same items all here, Fred's got a little bit more of the advantage here simply because of Das Boots.
Yeah, especially with the Desert Dance going on. So Fred is going to make up a little time, and he is going to get a little bit of battle armor there. My personal preference for the red tunic on Link is the purple cap, though.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say your personal preference is just the red tunic because you like to hug everything.
Only the mummies.
Well, you do like to make sure you have things under wraps.
So Xyrak gonna head into his Landmola fight. Luckily, they do have the Ice Rod, so this fight will not be that difficult. Ice Rod, basically similar to Fire Rod. So 2 hits on each Moldorm, or Landmola, I'm sorry. Landmola will quickly take it down, and there's our compass, and there's our crystal.
I'm not gonna lie, Ice Rod Landmolas, that's my favorite way to kill these things in the vanilla game. But that's going to be our second crystal of the match for Xyrak, our third overall completed dungeon. And, well, now where do you want to go? Well, I mean, aside from Checkerboard Cave.
Well, not only will we get a checkerboard check, yeah, that's right, but we'll also probably go ahead and visit Agina as well. So we got 2 chests here, and well, we're going to be digging something up. Luckily, we're not going to the haunted graveyard for that.
Well, if I recall correctly, wasn't the digging spot one of the last 2 spots that these guys could have checked in their first match, and Xyrak went there and Fred didn't, and that was the difference because it held the flute?
It may have been something like that. And just 100 rupees, so the money is even more plentiful. Fred playing Ring Around the Igor to light his torches, and he will go ahead into his Landmola fight, while Xyrak will head to number 4. We went back home. We're gonna go digging.
I can dig that.
Fred, unfortunately, having to settle for a 3-cycle here, got a really bad... Oh, maybe even a 4-cycle.
You had to say something, didn't you? Wow. This is like watching me fight the Landmolas.
No, he didn't die.
Ouch.
That's normally what you say when you die.
You can't say anything, you're dead.
I'm talking about in the game.
Oh, you assume I play this game.
Now, the big thing right here is Xyrak made the immediate play for the Pod Desert combo, the Pod Eastern combo now, which actually is not a bad play, except it is taking him away from the Grove area, so he's going to do this bootless. Fred picking up his spade.
See, I was always more of a fan of diamonds, but let's go ahead and see what Shapley has over here for us.
Just an arrow upgrade for that Hera dive.
But he is a very loving old man.
And he even gave, well, the Armos Knight a birthday present.
And you wonder why the Great Armos Uprising was a thing.
It was funded by fcoughlin.
Yes, it was definitely funded by Shabatis.
Kiki being the good monkey and letting us into the Palace of Darkness, so we are going to go ahead, head down on the left side.
We have everything to beat this dungeon except one little thing. And you know what that means, don't you, Krem?
It's going to be in here.
It's Fletch Quest time! You're not excited for the Fletch Quest? Because I know I'm over here quivering with excitement.
You're not getting any reaction out of me.
You know, you're no fun. I could bring back one other thing if you wanted me to.
No, we're not going to do that again.
We're not gonna go there again?
We are not.
Oh, that was fun though.
So we're going to actually get a potion glitch here from Xyrak.
All right, for those of us who are, unfamiliar with how this works, you want to explain it to us?
Basically, by using your potion in the previous room and everything, you can actually move the mimics off screen in that second room, and the game will say, oh, mimics aren't here? Okay, I'll open the door and let you progress.
Well, we do have our bug net now. So I guess we can call that potion glitch in that game.
I would make a Golden Knight in net reference, but I saw JSR in chat earlier, so I'm not going to do that to him.
Ooh. No, that's fair. That's fair. We've already made our pun there a little bit, so.
So once again, both of our runners are in the same exact area because, well, why would we have route divergence on a seed that Kremlin's route divergence on?
Well, the easy answer is because you want it. Haven't you learned by now that you can't always get what you want?
And Fred doing the same here. So there go the mimics. There goes the door. There goes Fred.
Bye, Fred! For the record, I'm going to laugh pretty heartily if the bow is in its vanilla location in Eastern Palace.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard a TGE Hurdy laugh. I've always heard the TGE cackle. Hey, there's a bombos.
Well, which means, you know, that unfortunately dissipates what I wanted to happen, because technically getting here is a sequence break, so we can't have what I wanted, which was a full dive through Swamp to get to Bombos, which then you had to go through Misery Mire to get the bow, which was on Vitreous.
Oh, we're not sequence broke right now.
Well, yes and no.
We're actually fully okay, so we're gonna have Bow and Mire.
Yep, and we're going to go ahead and make our way through Eastern Palace now. I mean, technically, with the three we have, with Swamp, Mire, and Hera, you know what I'm thinking, don't you?
You know what I'm thinking? I want Book to be at Pet, and I want Bow to be at Ether.
That basically is a bow on pedestal, so I accept it.
Yes, but I would like it more that way, because then it is a required blind head pull, and they don't know that that's still required.
That's true, although I do love what the pedestal says if the book's on there. Isn't this a paradox or something? Not to be confused with the paradox, which is what happens when both players play the flute at the same time.
Which has probably already happened in this seed.
True, true. I do also enjoy that room right there with the spawning skeletons, done the speedrun style, where you only spawn 2 of the 4. It just looks so pretty.
You're the only one I know that can find skeletons pretty in any sort of context.
Hey, I don't make any bones about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue that because it's just going to be the dead joke.
You're not even going to humorous me a little bit?
You go right over your skull.
What? I think you're just giving me the cold shoulder.
I think we're driving cat crazy is what we're doing.
Okay,
So, yeah, if you haven't noticed, we really haven't done anything to find anything in either of these dungeons so far. I mean, I think the prize so far has been the net.
No, bombos and flippies now.
Oh yeah, we do have bombos. That neither runner wanted to see either of those items because that does fully open
Mire
Swamp and Mire now.
Yeah. Xyrak just up there on the screen, just be like Russian. However, with this, that does mean Ice Palace is available, which is more than likely where Xyrak is going right now.
Indeed he is, so we get to chip away at some ice with a piece of metal.
Well, ice climbers are confirmed in the new Smash, so.
Yeah, but I don't think they work like Bombos does.
Isn't there like a bomb trophy you can use? I mean, I don't know. I haven't played Smash since 64.
I didn't realize you were that old.
Wow. Wow.
So far in Ice, we get Fire. Well, the shield.
Hey, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye?
And, hey, look. Same dungeon. Again.
Well, routing says to go here.
Routing has said to go everywhere so far.
So the routing's like savoir faire?
I was thinking more like Visa.
Well, that implies we want to be here. Nobody ever wants to be in Ice Palace.
Hey, if it's where Fire Rod is, I want to be here.
Krem, you, sir, need to go to therapy if you want to be at Ice Palace, no matter what's here.
Hey, if I can beat the game sooner. Xyrak using my favorite penguin's strat. Tickle Beam.
Was it tickle beaming them to death? That's by far is my favorite in-game nickname, though. I know I mentioned it earlier, but just I smile every time I hear the word tickle beam.
Xyrak doing the lovely hookshot clip into the staircase there to get down quickly.
So you're saying that only I could find skeletons beautiful, yet you're talking about clipping yourself into a staircase and you're calling it lovely.
Hey, if you can do it without falling down the steps, more power to you.
I have a hard enough time walking down the stairs, with nothing in front of me.
And all the bomb jumps in this palace here. Fred doing his obligatory ice bomb jump, while Xyrak did a bomb jump to get across to get to this area a lot quicker.
So what you're saying is, why did the Link do the bomb jump?
Sure.
Well, no.
You realize that joke is a lot darker than you think, though, right?
Well, it depends on where you're going with it. I was just going to go to get to the other side.
Yeah, exactly. I'll explain it to you later.
What, when I'm older?
No, you existed in 64. We already know that you're older.
No, I said you were going to explain it to me when I'm older.
Well, you'll be older after this match, so that's a good time.
Okay. Oh, hey, look, another red item, just not the one we need.
Though that one is pretty nice, especially, or, never mind, we're not going to have a silverless cannon. We may have a bowless cannon at this point, but... And 300 rupees, so... Well, that's not too great. But the other good thing about Tempered Sword here is Cold Stare is going to be a lot easier.
All right, let's take a look and see where we're going to go. And nope, apparently we've been doing an item count, so the big chest is not needed.
No, he has Compass and a key left to grab, so he will not need to worry about checking anything else. We know we're going to get one there from Cold Stare, and the other was in the big chest, so no point. Fred getting his carrot stick.
Carrot stick? Why you gotta bring vegetables into this, man?
Because they're better than fruit.
Oh, low blow. That was low, my friend.
Xyrak fighting through the lag and taking out Cold Stare. And we have the compass in the big chest because right there's our key. And there is another crystal, which, by the way, is our first red crystal.
But it's blue. So at this point, where do you go? Do you go to Swamp or do you go to Mire?
I go home. I just give up and I go home.
Well, you are home, so...
Xyrak's choosing Mire.
I mean, I understand why Mire's being chosen. Less overall chests to check.
But there's less overall items to get, so...
Right, but I mean, I can understand, because if you run across Bowen here, you don't have the left side Swamp Palace right now.
Oh, very true. I would say each has their advantages and disadvantages. I mean, both have a very, very long check if an item ends up there. Swamp with the left side, and Mire with the vanilla big key spot.
And we already determined that you want to portmanteau these two into Smire.
That means Fred's definitely going to go to Swamp.
Oh, the route convergence has been on point so far.
Well, there's our mirror. Where's the flute going to take us?
Somewhere over the rainbow, probably. Nope, Fred's doing Swamp. Nope, Fred's doing Mire. I lied.
You didn't hear the click 3 times?
I don't have the sound on. The only thing I get to hear is the sounds of your grating voice.
You spelled graceful wrong.
What, was I speaking in cursive or something?
No, just Braille.
Oh, so it was a hands-on kind of discussion.
You can keep your hands away from me is what you can do.
Hey, you brought it up. Yeah, so far we have had very little route divergence.
Fred making a beautiful work of this room, taking out the first few enemies and then just bombosing his way through the rest of them. So, really quick, making up a little bit of time here on Xyrak. Of course, they're going to follow the same route, so we're going to know everything Fred's going to get, like, a minute before he gets it.
Yeah, true. True. Not the worst thing in the world. And to think, this seat started off so quickly, too.
Also, TG, do you realize right now, if we do have an item at Vanilla Big Key spot, that we have to do the torches down there the very, very long way? Because we don't have Fire Rod.
Oh, that's right. The lantern torches.
It looks like Xyrak is going to make a play for it, so we get to see a lot of block pushing. Tetris, anyone?
No. I got suckered into playing Tetris the Grandmaster 2 once. I will never do that again.
No, I was just going to start humming some music, but okay. No, Xyrak's stream did not freeze. He is just waiting a very, very, very long time for a wall that we can't see to move.
Which opens up that hole that we get to fall down.
That seems to happen a lot in these seeds. And just for a compass. How about that?
So that means our second item is on our boy Viddy.
And, well, we don't have a bow for him. Bow and Silvers make very quick work of it. Silvers and no bow, not so much.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to make some eye skewers here. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have the second item. I forgot Big Chest was a thing. So Fred going ahead and checking Big Chest first actually basically syncs everything up.
Fred is finishing the dive, though, whereas Xyrak opted out.
Well, this is the route divergence you were talking about. So if it turns out that Pedestal has something we need, this is going to give Fred the advantage. If it turns out that it's in Swamp, then that means that Xyrak is going to have the advantage, assuming we go to Swamp.
Well, Xyrak right now is going to go ahead and grab his lunch. He has not done that yet, so this will actually pretty much sync up the time between the two players. They will have pretty much both done all of the same stuff, so yeah, this is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, Xyrak also going to go ahead and be able to pick up boots here because the lunch path will take you down by Cave 45.
And then, yes, I believe at this point, Swamp is pretty much our entire play.
At this point, Swamp's the only play.
And really interesting, Xyrak is fluting the chest back instead of... Oh, he may have realized and may be entering Dark World over here. Yes, he is. I was going to say he may not end up going to Cave 45 after all, but it looks like he will make his way there. Fred having to be a little careful on the big eye itself, but it does really, really well with this fight. So overall, not a lot of time loss, given the fact that he did choose to dive it. And then we'll see him probably make his way towards Swamp as well. Now, remember TG, they have boots, they have mirror, they have 2 spots in the graveyard they can still check.
Fred checked both of those already. They didn't get anything from it. The only thing we didn't... I don't know if we checked Mirror Ledge, but Fred definitely checked Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb.
Well, yes, but he has Catfish as well.
Right, but that's not a graveyard spot. And technically, we've never checked Pyramid either.
Looks like he is playing immediately for Swamp, though. Also, Xyrak is going to make this... I don't know what play Xyrak is making, because did he go up and check Cave 45?
Yeah, he has boots.
Okay, I didn't see him go up that way, so... Okay, never mind, he is okay. And he is now, yep, or he's actually heading...
I don't know.
Oh, he's going to check Graveyard Ledge and Catfish.
Okay, that would make sense.
And he may even route in a quick peek at Bumper Cave item 2.
Yeah, if Bumper Cave's involved, that means Cape could be in play then. Always a fan of Cape being in play. But Cape's not in play. Go ahead. I know you want to do the Edna mode, so go ahead.
Do you what?
Edna mode from The Incredibles. No capes.
No, I didn't. I really wasn't thinking that.
Oh. Okay.
I was actually kind of hoping that cape would have been required, so I could have went into like whole Harry Potter reference, needing the third of the Deathly Hallows to, you know, progress the seed, but no.
Oh, you're really reaching for analogies now.
So, in our first like true route divergence, Fred checking Swamp while Xyrak is checking the Dark World spots, we'll see which one pays off. Fred is now heading into the, you know, good part of Swamp. which takes forever to get to.
There's a good part of swamp.
You know, the way you say it, there isn't a good part of this game, so, you know, it's one of those lesser of two evils. If I can search swamp, I would rather not be on the left side of swamp, so yes, this is a good part.
I mean, you're not incorrect.
I realize this.
Ooh, Fred making a gamble here.
Fred looks like he may be making the play for
pedestal. Of course, you know what's going to happen, right? Blind Ped's going to have Fire Rod, which is going to lead to Bow at Trinex.
Is it going to be Bow at Trinex, or is it going to be Bow at Mothula?
Or it could be Book at one of those, and then Bow at one of your tablets like you wanted.
I would enjoy that.
I would enjoy that too. The Schadenfreude would be absolutely delicious. But looks like we're going to get the one of the few things that Fred hasn't checked yet, which is everyone's favorite fish here. We have a catfish. Bow or fire out on catfish would be pretty devastating for Fred right now.
I mean, it would be devastating, but it wouldn't be because he's pretty much exhausted a lot of his other options. He may choose to dive swamp again before checking there, but it wouldn't be a huge time sink. The only problem is we're so far into the seed at this point that it would be a lot to catch up then.
Yeah, the biggest part about catfish that disappoints me is the fact that you can't throw the sign that says don't throw the sign to get the item because it just doesn't work routing-wise. But it's only a big 20 anyway, so it doesn't matter. Which means we're looking at either a ped pull here, whatever the heck's on Argus, or the pyramid. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to either get a blind pedestal pull, or we're going to go ahead and get the rest of left side swamp. I mean, it's in one of those three places: left side swamp, pedestal, or the pyramid. That's what we have. And Fred's going to go right back in for left side.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of a time sink to do this, but you're here to sit there and actually set up Swamp Palace again just to come in for 2 items is a lot more detrimental, so you might as well check it while you can. And
Pyramid's got nothing, so Fred's made the right call here. It's all going to depend now on what are we going to get? Are we going to get a little fetch quest here from the left side swamp, or is this going to be the fabled blind pedestal pull for an item?
Just get the map out of the big chest, so it is definitely left side. We'll see whether it warrants anything good or whether Xyrak is going to be in a ton of trouble, because remember, if it is a pedestal seed, Xyrak now has to go back into mire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So while Fred's in a pretty good position here either way, he's in a better position if this is a pedestal seed.
So Fred is pushing the lever to flood the left side of swamp, while Xyrak is flooding the dam to open up swamp. So both of our runners once again will be in the same dungeon, and I believe this makes it what? Is this 9 for 9 on being in the same dungeon at the same time?
Oh
no, they weren't. They weren't in Skullwoods at the same time. So we're 8 for 9.
Yeah, no, yeah, and technically Xyrak was in Turtle Rock for a bit, so we can say 8 for 10.
Okay, so we'll say 8 for 10, even though they may end up in T-Rock at the same time eventually. But, yeah, a lot of very close maneuvering, but it is going to come down to Fred making this play first. We'll see what are in the 2 chests here on the left side of Swamp.
First one's
more
gonna be a big
20 rupees.
I
swear there's more red rupees in this seed than
Oh,
others.
absolutely, absolutely. And there's the fire rod, the last possible chest in Swamp. So we do have the option of still needing the pedestal, but the fire rod does open up now Skull Woods and Turtle Rock to both be finished by Fred here. And if you're Fred, you got to go for Skull Woods first, because you get Skull Woods, you kill Mothula, and you blind pedestal pull while you're there.
Absolutely. He is going to make that play. And not only that, but if it is Bo there, then he can work everything to where T-Rox's last dungeon before heading in to Ganon's Tower, which is so much better routing-wise. But, you know, that means that T-Rox is going to have the bow, because that's how things always work.
Right, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, and both runners have already gone through the first half of Skull Woods, so it's going to be a pretty quick cleanup time here for Skull Woods. So they go ahead and you finish up Skull Woods, and if you're Fred, you want to see the bow somewhere here, either in the last couple of places on Skull Woods or on the pedestal. You really want to see it on the pedestal if you're Fred, honestly, just because Xyrak hasn't taken out Misery Mire, but you're not going to complain finding it here.
Absolutely not. And we do know that we do have one more item, I believe, sitting in Skullwoods. They got a piece of heart earlier on, but I believe they do have one more item sitting in the back part of Skullwoods here. So could potentially be the bow. Could also, you know, be another red rupee.
Yeah, but yeah, again, you know, we'll never know. The world may never know.
There are no Tootsie Pops in this seed.
But I like Tootsie Pops.
Also, Xyrak is going to have to go ahead and make his dive back in, because he did skip left side as well.
Alright, here we go. Time for the Mothula fight. You know, red tunic, red sword, red rod, red hearts. Mothula going to be seeing red here for a bit. And wow.
Yeah, not for a little bit. Like, no time at all. And no,
that was
escape.
Insane. Like, that
More
was
red.
Insane.
Yeah, excellent fight there by Fred. Now, Fred grabbing this crystal does open up Pyramid Fairy as well, so we may even see him check that before heading up to T-Rock if Bo is not... or maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was not a piece of heart, because Fred is diving back in, so that means that that's possibly the other item there. But
I thought it was a piece of heart. I thought you were correct there.
Well, we will see in a second. But if...
Oh, you were right. You
yes,
weren't right.
I was right. I was not right at the position. But
hey, take it any way you can get it.
Yeah. Fred is going to go ahead and do his ped pool. So...
All right, two items here are progression, where you could either have book to a tablet, or we could have bow. I want to see bow. I know you want to see bow. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get some bombing of the pedestal, and here we go with the blind pull crim.
And the pendants award us with the bow!
We blinded! Oh! Fred with a huge lead now.
You know what that means. Book is going to be either at the Armos Knights or at Helmsor King.
Yes. Oh my word, that is fantastic. So we did get the pedestal play like we wanted, and it was a blind pull that got us the bow, which unlocks the rest of this seed. That, you know, Fred opting to dive Mire where Xyrak left after getting the two items, that right now is the big difference here in this seed. That does put Fred into, as he likes to refer to it, as Blitz mode.
And the other big thing is, remember, we just got the bow off the pedestal and not the fire rod. That means that Xyrak is going to probably dive T-Rock before going back to Mire.
Yeah, because he'll have all the tools to do it, absolutely.
So Fred is now in complete Blitz mode, as he calls it, goat mode as we call it, but he will just be flying through these dungeons trying to clear them out as quickly as possible while, you know, getting electrified by jellyfish too.
That's gonna sting a little bit.
That does too. And now he has the Just reset the room, Fred. Xyrak is heading up into the left side of Swamp now. He is going to be grabbing his 2 chests, and well, we know he's going to fire in the Fire Rod here.
Yeah, there we go. So Xyrak going to go ahead and pick up the big 20, and then we are going to go ahead and pick up the Fire Rod here. And Fred, no potion glitch needed here. Not that you can do it in that room anyway, but we have our bow, we have our arrows, and oh yeah, once we go ahead and knock the helmet off of the Helmosaur King, Silver Arrow going to make short work of the giant dinosaur.
I don't know if Fred will have enough arrows to complete this TGE.
Well, he might have to use arrows instead of bombs to leave parting gifts. And Xyrak is going to go ahead and go do Skull Woods, which, you know, makes sense considering the information that he has.
Yeah, 2 items there. We thought it was 1, but he knows it's 2 because, well, he pays more attention than we do to what he's gotten. But even though there are 2 items, both of them are red. None of them contain wood, so that won't help.
That was a very aesthetically pleasing description.
And Fred just going right at Helmosaur King. Why not? I mean, red mail. There's nothing to be afraid of. 17 hits with the hammer later, and he's just going to Temper Sword it. No reason to even switch.
Yep, and Helmosaur King gonna go on down, and
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have never heard me call a race before,
that is a required blind pedestal pull to get the bow. Oh, that's fantastic.
which, you know, it's just one of those things that every matter just gets a little bit worse and worse and worse. There's the cape for Xyrak. There's his crystal. He's also going to be able to pull Pyramid Fairy before he ever heads back in Mire. So he's going to end up, you know, pretty much clearing everything out just to get the bow.
Yeah, no, the bow proving to basically be the white whale of this seed.
It's a windfish, TGE. It's a windfish. I regret saying that, TGE. I regret saying that.
Haven't you learned by now, don't give me any openings?
So Xyrak is going to go ahead and make his pyramid play here, checking the fairy there for the 2 items. We'll see if it's anything useful. Butter Sword would be useful, but at this point, not even.
I mean, we're not going to see Aghanim 1 get killed. So I do want to see us get the 4th bottle, the Mirror Shield, and the Gold Sword, just so we can have a nearly full complete tracker save for Aghanim 1. But Fred's going to go ahead and pick up his 6th crystal here, which is, of course, the one in Eastern Palace. And we're going to do the preferred routing of Turtle Rock into Ganon's Tower. So because we have Fred entering what is going to be the last dungeon before Ganon's Tower, please, nobody put your numbers in chat now, but be thinking about your guess. And you know what I mean when I say thinking about your guess. I mean, I know for a fact you know what my guess is going to be, Crim.
Yes, and you know what mine's going to be.
But of course. So Fred making his way back up Death Mountain, as Xyrak unfortunately not getting anything of note there with our friend Plump Petunia.
And Xyrak is getting frustrated at this point. He's going to make his T-Rock play at the same time as Fred. Unfortunately, Fred has a slight advantage now with having, well, crystals 5 and 6 and the bow.
So yeah, the other thing here is you are going to get your wish. We are going to have our runners in Turtle Rock at the same time. But of course, in order for us to get into Turtle Rock here, Fred's going to make it a cold day in Shell. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm just imagining Krim sitting in front of his microphone, not one, but both hands covering his face, questioning his decisions as to why he agreed to do commentary with me.
I'm just trying not to snap at you.
Like that?
So, we literally are like on riding the same roller coaster ride at the same time.
So hands up as we go down the hill, everybody.
I don't know, their timing's a little off, TG. I have to give them a 7 on those synchronized dives.
Well, yeah, but I'd expect nothing less from the French judge.
I'm English.
Oh. Well, you were saying words I didn't understand earlier. Like Shenandoah.
I can go on for days. Monongahela, Susquehanna.
I mean, we got some pretty good ones up here, but the ones you got take the cake.
Unfortunately, our Chain Chomp's giving Fred a little bit of the business.
So we're getting a personal foul on the Chain Chomps who are giving him the business?
Absolutely. So here's one area that we'll probably see a difference between, well, we will see a difference between Xyrak and Fred is going to just be able to grab this key and exit because the best he can do is a key for key swap. Xyrak will actually use the key and check out that chest, or wait, did we? Yeah, we did get the key. So yes, I can continue on this rant. Xyrak will go ahead and check out that chest because he still needs the bow, and bow could possibly be there.
Yeah, but we know it's not. Unfortunately for Xyrak, he's hoping it is.
And well, there's your 4th bottle.
Well, hey, that's part of what we were looking for. That's you know, we were making sure we give some love. And speaking of the tracking, as you can see, we've got a nearly full tracker. So let's give some quick shout outs here to our tracker, who's been doing absolutely fantastic here behind the scenes, Magic Jade 47. So send some love over there as well.
Yeah, our runners keeping them busy, beyond busy tonight. All the clicking. And here is going to be a second difference between Fred and Xyrak. Fred will not be checking Mimic Cave, as Xyrak will when he gets out there.
Hey, we're good. We found the single arrow, everybody.
Well, you know, Fred needed that one. No, he's still 10 short.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, did Xyrak just skip? But he wanted to check that chest first, just in case he could potentially skip Mimic Cave.
I mean, that's a really quick chest to check. That's a perfectly fine maneuver there.
Meanwhile, Fred doing the choose your own roller coaster adventure right now. He chooses the short one.
I miss those books. And the best part for Fred is he has a key, so we do not have to do any laser bridge shenanigans.
And the awesome Samaria dash there to get through everything right away. Unfortunately, Pokey here does not want to let Fred go forward. Oh, Fred's going to powder for a little bit of health.
Yeah, but Fred's gonna go ahead and pick up the full magic here before Trenix. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, so you've had some time. So get those numbers ready. Again, not yet, but get those numbers ready.
Fred, unfortunately, not getting the Firehead down before the Ice Head makes the ground a little slippery, but he's able to avoid the snaps of Trinix pretty easily. And just a few swings here of Tempered Sword, and he will be ready to head on his way.
And that is going to be the 7th crystal. So, Grim, do you want to give the speech?
All right, sure. Here we go. There are.
Wow. And now chat's alive.
There are a bunch of chests, 22 to be exact, in Ganon's tower that can hold the all-important big key to get up towards the top. Your game is to sit there and guess which chest that will be in. We are going to go off of Fred's routing, so there are no set numbers to the chest, just the order that Fred opens them in. If you happen to be the first one to guess the correct number, and you are a subscriber to any one of the Speed Gaming channels or have donated a total of 250 bits, you can earn your way onto our leaderboard.
Yep, and of course, because as we mentioned, we both know the numbers. I believe you are a number 11.
I am indeed number 11.
And of course,
you would be number 16.
You would be correct, sir. And we're going to start off with the traditional, quote-unquote traditional right side. So we're going to take a look at the first two chests here. And not going to be in chest 1, so all of you guess number 1 and number 2. We're sorry, please try again.
And now we are going to do the check to see if we do indeed get rid of Bob for the seed. And we are going to.
Bob has the key, so now it would be number 3, everybody. Fred is going to continue on, though, because we need that. So, yeah, so number 3 is our winner.
And Trace 3, congratulations, you have won. If you haven't been there before, welcome to the leaderboard.
Yep. So Xyrak now realizing that, oh crap, I have to go finish Misery Mire.
Oh yes, Trace 3
Trace
had
is,
one before.
Yeah, Trace definitely on the leaderboard there. Yeah, but so Fred making his way up here through Ganon's tower. Unfortunately, taking a bop here in the double Igor room. That's a pretty difficult room to get through damageless.
Yeah, but when you do it, it looks very pretty. Doing his dances with cannonballs and heading up towards our gauntlet should be pretty trivial. Having the Tempered Sword definitely makes this a lot easier because everything does go down in one slash.
Yep, and I just figured I'll jump in real quick here. For those of you who are on the East Coast and are fans of the Red Sox, since I am, I'm going to give you guys a real quick update. In the top of the 5th inning, the Red Sox and Seattle Mariners are tied 1-1.
And Xyrak is going through Mire to finish that off, so he is going to cleared out to finally do his pool. Of course, knowing this is really all that he has left, so he kind of has to do this. And then he will be on to the Pod Eastern combo once again to get his last 2 crystals before heading up to GT.
Yeah, but Fred, that was actually a pretty good gauntlet, all things considered.
Yeah, not very often that your second Land Mola fight goes better than your first, but for Fred it did.
Yeah, well, Fred's first Land Mola fight looked like he gave the controller to one of his daughters.
Xyrak does have the cape for this fight, so just doing dash strats, really fun to watch. And then opting to go ahead and do a spin slash or 2 against Biddy's big eye. Or 3. And finally, Viddy goes down. Last pennant is obtained, and he can now go make his blind pool.
So Fred didn't despawn everything. We've seen Fred do that a couple of times. I remember the first time he did it, I had no clue. Like, why is he back at the top, bottom of the tower? What happened? Didn't have a clue.
Yeah, doesn't forget his key there from the mini Helmosaur, and makes his way into our final room, going to ferry the Anna Fairy and the Bunny Beam here for a fairy and a troll fairy. And then on to Troll Dorm 2.
Yep, and we all know what to expect here coming up. Fred's going to do what everyone loves to do, and that's we know he's going to bomb this final chest here.
1 bomb or 2?
2.
And there we go. And we got to see the bombs go off this time, so that's always exciting. Fred heading
absolutely. Here's
through his last room
blind
here.
pedestal pull. Unfortunately, not nearly as hype for us.
Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you right now.
There's probably a lot of Russian. You know what the crazy part about this run is, Grim? This is a 100% dungeons required run, and basically a 100% items run. And Fred's on pace to get right around a 145.
Yeah, completely ridiculous. That's if Agga wants to require, because so far Fred's at a 111. Okay, there's a 2.
Is it 1 + 1 + 2 + 1, or 1 + 2 + 2 + 1?
That was a 1 + 1 + 1 + 2 + 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and at this point, Fred heading towards Ganon, and Xyrak is heading back into Pod. Xyrak just, like, 2 things have to be going through your head right now. 1, the seed was really the worst because of the required blind ped pool. And 2, if Fred gambled that, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, but this, like, the fact that Fred's going to basically sub 150 this on a blind ped required seed is absolutely insane.
Also, very nice work there by Fred on Ganon to one-cycle both his first and second forms. Gonna be getting some teleports here while Xyrak heads down to the dark part of Pod. I mean, not so dark now that he has found that Zelda left her flashlight for him.
Well, we did determine earlier that Zelda did in fact have a flashlight.
Absolutely. Fred does get Torch Glitch and has 3 arrows into the pig now, and right here's our 4th.
There's our 4th one. So yeah, that is gonna be it. Barring an unforeseen soft lock in the next 5 seconds, Fred is going to go ahead and move on to the round of 64. Coming from behind after going down 1-0 in this match to come back and win it 2-1. And our on-screen time, going to say a 1:45:03. Our SRTV time is 1:45:02. So basically an effective sub 145 with a full completed seed.
Absolutely, and we see on Xyrak's side, he's just hammering them. He has indeed forfeited his race, so with that, Fred will be moving on to the next round. But folks, give both of them a follow. Xyrak is an amazing player as well. They have put on quite the show here for us.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. Just the fact that you said you wanted something crazy here for a winner-take-all match, and for the first hour or so of this match, it seemed like everything was going to be bog standard, and then the bow happened.
The bow did happen.
All right, and I'm checking below us. We've got ourselves a Fred, so we want to go talk to a Fred.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I think my heart rate might be back down to about 130 or so right now.
So let's just go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way. Required blind ped pull. What are you thinking when you're pulling that and the bow pops up there?
I'd been praying at that point. I thought that was my only chance at all of possibly winning because I had failed the Myra gamble and figured Xyrak probably went to swamp first and therefore said, okay, I'm in trouble now, so I just got to go for the pedestal and pray. And I was expecting, a 20 or something and got incredibly lucky.
Well, here's the thing, is you and Xyrak pretty much for the first hour of the race were hand in hand. Like, you could have been holding each other's hands that entire seed. The difference was, after that second item in the big chest and mire, Xyrak decided to exit, and you continued on. That was the difference.
Yeah, as I said, I figured that was the gamble. I figured he was going to go to swamp first. Apparently not, but, that just was the huge gamble there. I just took a giant coin flip and got lucky in this case. I think if it hadn't been for that, if the bow had been somewhere else, he would have gotten it, therefore, by the 2 minutes it took me to go down to the basement to take care of Vitreous there.
Yeah, just a crazy seed. Early on, when you started seeing all this stuff, like, you had Dark World access at 8 minutes. I mean, what was going through your head at that point? Like, were you concerned that there was just going to... Because I know that you see Xyrak as someone that you sort of have to hope a little bit of luck because he is just so good at his execution. I know you've told me that personally. That, like, were you just worried that everything was going to fall into place and that was going to put you in a little bit of trouble?
Well, it's definitely a bit disadvantage. It was just a case of, at that point, the world was pretty darn open at that 8-minute mark. I was actually contemplating walking straight up from... I was actually contemplating, after I checked Batman, skipping library and race and just walking straight up and going into Dark World, but decided I wanted to at least get a few chests out of Mini Moldorm and damn, hoping I'd get lucky that I'd get something good. I think it was pretty much garbage down there in the end, but my goal there was, as I said, the world was pretty wide open, almost entire Dark World access. If we felt like walking through the Dark Cave, we would have at least been able to get up to Death Mountain. There was pretty much, we couldn't have done a ton up there, but pretty much almost the entire world was wide open at that point, so it was going to be a really tough path as to which one we were going to take to get through. So yes, terrified.
Well, you were able to pull it out, though, so you do get to stick around to live another round. So it will be at least 2 more matches in your future. Any thoughts on the next round here?
Pretty much. I mean, I guess at this point, any group is the quote-unquote group of death. But looking at Problems and Zane as the 2 potential opponents, both of which are incredibly good players. I've faced Problems a few random times in random races. I'm fairly certain I almost always see him finishing near the tops of those races. So, it's going to be an incredibly tough match. And even then, if either of us gets through that, it's going to be even harder for the next round too. It's not going to get any easier from here on out. So it's just going to be a case of playing my best and hoping the cards just happen to fall the right way. At some point here, it's going to fall and break, and I'm on borrowed time at this point in my mind, and it's just a case of getting as far as I can and hoping we get lucky.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Exactly.
So I don't have anything else for Fred. Do you, Krim?
No, but we're gonna try to get Xyrak in here as well. I think
Nope,
he's
no
just
trying. We have succeeded. But we have a muted microphone, so we'll get that in a minute.
All right, I believe he is here. Xyrak, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
Hey there, man.
Hey, Fred. GG on the race, man.
Thank you. You too. I mean, it sounds like we were incredibly close, and just as I said to them, and I even said to you in the chat there, if I'd taken if it turned out not to be a pedestal seed, you would have had significant advantage there, and it would have gone your way, I think.
I mean, that's rando, right? I mean,
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a magnet for these pedestal things, apparently, since I've had 4 of them in 10 races.
Gosh, wow.
But, yeah, I mean, like, that's rando. What can you do?
Note to self, do not play you anymore in the future.
Yeah. Unless we're going to make an all bosses agreement like we did in our first race.
I am more than fine with that.
Well, you guys kind of did that here anyway.
Right, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and to make matters even worse, Xyrak, you didn't quite get there, but it was actually a required blind pull because Helmets for King had the book.
Yeah, I mean, I had literally nothing left on the map.
Yeah, so it was just one of those crazy seeds, and we were saying to Fred, like, early on, we were just like, the game's just handing stuff out to you guys, and we just didn't see it going in that direction so quickly because you got everything, and then you're looking forever for that fire rod and the bow, and just one of those weird seeds. But I mean, absolutely amazing showing for you. Even having to go back to all those dungeons and basically do a full clear of everything. It's definitely been enjoying to watch you these past 4 races with Fred, and even the few that I caught you before that.
Yeah, I mean, at least I didn't forfeit for you and TGE this time like I did last year. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was the guy who didn't realize he picked up the mushroom against me and had to forfeit.
I didn't bring it up this time because I remembered that. I'm like, no. And then when the mushroom came up, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. At least I actually got to play the seed this time, for sure. I mean, I'm mostly happy with the way it went. I mean, as soon as the Bombos Medallion was where it was, and Fred decided that he was going to at least semi-gamble a pedestal pull, I mean, my fate was sealed, because there's no way, from the way that I play, there's no way I'm not doing Ice and Mire before I go into Swamp, and there's no way I'm killing Vitreous in that spot either. So, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, that's rando. Sometimes that stuff just happens to you.
Absolutely, but even though that this does bring your tournament to an end, I doubt this is the last we're going to see of you in the randomizer world here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be around. I'm playing around with some of the other ones too. I mean, heck, Fred beat me on my turf, so maybe I have to pick up Z1 and beat him on his turf.
Well,
I
hey,
look forward
hey.
to it. We're going to get some new version out here soon and try to make it even more fun. So you're more than welcome to come on out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I watch all the other Team LZ guys who do Z1R all the time, so it's a great rando. So, and I do play it casually once in a while myself.
We'll look forward to it over in the Z1R community. So we look forward to seeing you there. Any final thoughts from either of you, Xyrak, Fred?
Great showing in the tournament. I'd rather have played you in the finals. You know, I said that even when we were playing that first all bosses match there in week 7. You know, you're incredibly good at this stuff, and it was a pleasure getting to play you. And at least it sounds like we put on a good match for everyone. So, you know, keep up at it, and hopefully we will get to play in the finals next tournament, not first round bracket, or in the Swiss again.
Right.
No offense to you. You're
No,
great.
well, hey,
You're good, too good.
I'm down 3. Well, I'm down 3-1 in the series now. So I mean, like,
Oh, yeah, you gotta take it back.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta climb my way back up to 500. But, yeah, I mean, obviously Fred's great at this, great at any rando that he decides to pick up. Great speedrunner in general. I have no shame in losing to him. My initial goal when I decided to do the tournament was to get to the bracket stage. I felt like I left some stuff on the table in the last tournament, so I'm glad to get to the top 128 here. That being said, once you get here, you want more, right? So I am a little disappointed to be going home, but I enjoyed the ride, and for sure, I'll be around. So thanks to all the admins and everyone who Speed Gaming for hosting the tournament and everything. Had a blast, and like I said, I'll definitely be around.
All right. Thanks a lot to both of you guys. Put on a great series of shows here the past, 2 weeks with 4 matches between the two of you. Well, 3 weeks, I guess. But, I mean, as you've seen, both of them are amazing runners, and I know that we'll be seeing more of them for sure in the future. So be sure to give both of them a follow. Twitch.tv/fcoughlin, Twitch.tv/Xyrakian. I probably said that wrong with the full thing, but thanks to both of them. Thanks once again to our tracker as well, Magic Jade 47. They kept them busy tonight, filling out the entirety of the trackers. So TG, why don't you send us on out of here?
Alrighty, so on behalf of our runners, that would be Fred and Xyrak here, our tracker behind the scenes here, Magic Jade 47, and of course all of the wonderful people here on Speed Gaming. We are on the Cinco, of course, and for my broadcast partner, Crimson Avix, I'm the Green Leaf Effect, reminding everybody, of course, to keep hailing.